Hi, this is Anadi Madhu. I've come up with another video. This time the video is on talk on a topic which is very much in line with current uprising happening in Delhi, Jantar Mantar, and recently Kolkata. The topic is selection in jobs. Government jobs should happen through college-based curriculum only. And you would ask me why selection should be done on the basis of college curriculum. Why not outside curriculum? Why not through retest? Why not through re-examination in some way or the other related to college curriculum, but little bit in the higher level, such that everybody who is not able to perform well in college will get a chance to get into government jobs. And then the next question will come: if that person who has not performed well in college level, will he really perform well in competitive examinations? And why is that so? Both are education only. And the next question comes: he is not going to perform, definitely. What he will do? He will fraud. He will choose fraud way to getting into or doing well into that competitive examination. And this is the thing which is happening for, I think, last 30-40 years. Those who are not well, those who are not good in academics in college level, and they want to get into government jobs through competitive examination level, they will not come into the government jobs perfectly. By fraudulent ways, they will try to get into the government jobs. How is this possible? A person who is not good in college level in education, how can he perform well in the competitive examination? Everything is well connected, and probably because of which we have seen many paper leaks issues of late. Earlier these paper leak issues were not very much coming into the limelight in front of the audience, because those days everything was under the table. Now everything is online. Anybody getting any sort of idea about this kind of illegal issues happening, it will capture in video, it will be recorded in audio, and it will be uploaded in internet. So that's why, because of this advancement in communication methods, these irregularities in competitive examinations, paper leaks issues are being revealed to Aam Aadmi. And because of this Aam Aadmi, normal person who is doing well in a college level, who is trying to get into government jobs through competitive examination only, in a normal way, not through fraudulent way, will be agitated, will be on street, will be demanding justice in front of government. And their immediate target would be our beloved education minister. So what do you want? You want an agitation by an educationist marching on road, creating turbulence, creating chaotic situations, demanding justice. Is it a right way? We know it is not a right way. What will he do when he will see a person who is not doing well in college level but getting into competitive examinations easily, passing it easily through fraudulent ways? What will he do? Will he forget education, his first love? He will study, definitely. An educationist, no matter what would happen, what kind of circumstantial actions happening around him, against him, he would study. But at the same time, he would raise his voice. The voice, first through mouth, then through hands. And these hands will not stop. We have two hands. We have one mouth. Our mouth actually tend to restrict our untoward actions. But when our hands will rise up, there will be no stoppage. There will be activities only. We have to curb these activities. We have to make our educationists understand there will be once again a level of rising of honesty in academics, in government jobs. Now what is happening? The politician is saying, we'll take stringent actions on paper leaks. There will be no more paper leaks. Is it the right choice? Is it the right decision? Do you think it is a right decision? Can you avoid paper leaks? The person who has not studied well in college and is getting an entrance into the government jobs through competitive means, will he study honestly and then appear for competitive examinations? He will all the time try to get into fraudulent means to get into government jobs, and there will be mafias available in education sector who would be allowing this thing to happen. So what is the solution? The solution is one only. Select your candidate for government jobs through college level examination only. There shouldn't be any competitive examinations. These are the ways through which fraudulent activities can be initiated, and a bad performer in academics will be getting into government jobs. So definitely, knowing the paper prior to examination, all these things will happen. Even passing things are happening. Luckily it didn't happen with me, but it had initially started when I was about to join Indian Oil Corporation Limited in 2015 through UGC NET. So I qualified UGC NET. So 2014 December 28 I appeared for UGC NET, and 2025 April or March result came. So that time once again UGC NET paper was leaked. So they once again went for re-evaluation. Leak or some sort of illegal activities happened in selection procedure in UGC NET result. So they went for re-evaluation, and because of which after 1 year only I got into Indian Oil Corporation Limited. UGC NET is a kind of competitive examination only through which you can get into Indian Oil Corporation Limited, and it is other way also through which you can get into masters or PhD research level in college. So you can understand this kind of things happened in 2014 also, happened with me. I waited for completely 1 year to get into Indian Oil Corporation Limited. From 2016 May only I got into Indian Oil Corporation. I wrote this examination in December 2014, 20th December. So you can understand in competitive examinations this kind of irregularities is happening for last 2014. If you talk about last 12-13 years, and off late in 2026 we are seeing this kind of uprising. The academicians, the students, good performer in academics are becoming frustrated, and you can see this frustration not in the eyes of engineers. I am from engineering background and as well as management background, but in the eyes of medical doctors. They are frustrated. Medical students are frustrated, seeing these kind of manipulations happening openly. They are on street. They should be in hospital. They are on street agitating against the current government. It is not the fault of current government. and it is not the fault of previous government as well. This trend is happening over the years. The container of illegal activities have been filled up. It is overflowing. For years, for eons, these illegal activities in competitive examinations are happening. We cannot blame one government for this. We cannot say, Dharmendra Pradhan, you are the postgraduate, a well literate person, you should resign. Is he the culprit? Education does not happen within 5 years. It is happening over the years. The one government cannot be blamed. It is a series of government who has supported this kind of illegal activities. Past government, past government. So this is not the solution. Like a political manipulations, every time something goes wrong, you'll say just resign that particular minister. This is not the solution. In education, this cannot be the solution. Okay, so the main agitation is all about curbing this kind of illegal activities, and it is not easy to do so, and it will not happen no matter what kind of restrictions you bring in, be it that restriction on online, be that restriction offline. It will not be curbed. You have to make your education system a streamlined education system. Have you ever thought, just passing from school, why don't you appear for competitive examination to getting into high school? Do we ever go for these kind of things? The performance of school will make us available to appear, not appear to get into the specific stream we get based on our result. Why there shouldn't be a competitive examination to getting into high school, science, arts, commerce? But why you are following these nonsensical steps after high school? Why, if you want to get into college, why do you have to appear for competitive examinations? And the same thing will be extrapolated in competitive examinations in jobs, government jobs. Why? For getting into high school, do you appear for any competitive examination? Then why do you have to appear for competitive examination for getting into colleges? Why do you have to appear for competitive examination for getting into government jobs after college? Tell me. Is it the right way? Are we making our education streamlining in nature? We are simply creating an option for retest for getting into another level, next level. Why there should be an next level examination? Why the current examination result will result us to get into next level, like high school? High school never says, if you want to get into science stream, appear for this examination. Does high school say? Never, no? So you can understand, we have to streamline your education system, and through which we can able to curb all these illegal activities happening in competitive examinations, in jobs, in higher studies, everything we can curb it. We don't have to be on street to make our words sounding. Very simple. High school does not allow any competitive examination for taking in students from school. College should not allow any competitive examination for taking in students. Based on the performance of high school only, based on the performance of college only, government jobs will be filled in. What else do you need? How can this happen? How can it be possible? Just tell me. A person who is not doing well in college level is going to do well in competitive examination. Is it possible? He is not going to do well in competitive examination. How can? Everything is well connected. Yes, a difficulty level will be on the higher side. I understand. If a difficulty level is on the higher side, how can that person won't be performing well in college level but will be performing well in the competitive examination when the difficulty is on the higher side? Tell me. So you can understand this kind of nonsensical, non-streamlining activities which is happening post high school time in colleges, in government jobs, should be curbed immediately through college examinations, performance only, government jobs will be given. But that's it. If the person is not doing well in college level, he shouldn't be allowed to get into government jobs. Private jobs will be open. That's it. No? And you'll ask me why. Do you know one day just in a year, one day of competitive examination, will it be the right method to select a candidate instead of evaluating the entire candidate in complete 1 year? Because your one day bad performance will not decide your entire year, isn't it? Anything can happen if you don't get into good environment during examination time. Support from your parents, support from your college, or support from your neighbors, or support from your friends, then your competitive examination cannot be done in a perfect way. So one day bad performance can make you suffer for 1 year. Do you want this kind of selection procedure in government jobs? Do you want this kind of selection procedure in colleges? Obviously, anybody in a year, in 365 days, one day can be bad for anybody if you are not lucky enough. And this is not the right way to select a candidate in government jobs. And probably these people who are doing nuances in government jobs for past 30-40 years, they also know about it. One day performance cannot make that particular person to be selected in government jobs, isn't it? So perfect 1 year of evaluation is required to getting into government jobs, getting into colleges after high school. So that's it, an eye opener. Probably I think the agitation should be stopped. Like a politician, we should not demand resignation of postgraduate politician. He's a postgraduate. So he is a postgraduate politician. So you can understand, we after such a long time we have somebody who is little bit literate enough to get into education system. A politician who is sound literate getting into education system. So we should not, like a normal illiterate people, demand for resignation. What will happen if he does resignation? Another person will come and he will understand that the person who has come is not postgraduate, probably he is a graduate only. So these kind of modifications can happen. A postgraduate in education as education minister is, I think, perfect way. Probably everybody would agree, person who are sound educationist, good in academics, will performing well, would understand becoming a politician after post graduation is something which no educationist or academician would love to do that. Perhaps he has seen things beyond normal educationists or academicians and wanted to do something for the education department. That's why he got into this field. Politics is a dirty game. Luckily we have a postgraduate who would understand what kind of things are happening inside our education system. So anyway, demanding just a resignation like an illiterate people would not make any difference into our education system. So anyway, stop demanding this nonsensical demand and try to demand for streamlining of selection procedures. Only through college performance only government jobs will be filled up. That's it. No competitive examination. So just an eye opener. If you feel like giving a thumbs up to this eye opener, please do so. And my intention is not to hurt anybody, not to hurt any sentiments, just to give them some sort of idea, just to make them understand. Fight for justice, but understand what kind of justice you need. Simply crying, screaming for justice won't make a difference. Understand what justice you need. In education system, our education system is the most bogus, fake education system for past 30-40 years. A selection procedure not happening for high school. The selection procedure should not happen in college also. A selection procedure for government jobs should not happen also. Through college performance, through high school performance, and obviously it is happening from school performance, high school, college, and government jobs will be filled up. That's it, nothing more than that. So just an eye opener. Try to work on these issues properly and stop screaming for paper leaks and all those things. This will happen, not no matter what. The person not doing well in academics in college level, if he gets chance to get into competitive, again, government jobs through competitive level, he'll do fraudulent means only. That's all. I believe I've given you proper thoughts, and probably after listening to these thoughts, people will take actions, and especially medical students. They're simply screaming. Those screaming will be just after certain days will be completely faded out. Anyway, and everything will be like normal things happening for which are happening for last 30-40 years. Once again, we'll be doing the same thing. Anyway, so that's all. Today is Sunday, and probably I wish you a happy weekend, and that's all. And I wish you a nice evening. Bye.